Hey everyone, this is Anam. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be explaining the poem Wind along with the poetic devices. The poem is from the book Beehive of class 9 and is written by Subramanya Bharti. Subramanya Bharti was a great Tamil poet in the pre-independence era. The poem was originally written in Tamil and it has been translated in English by A.K. Ramanujan. The poet depicts the enormous power of wind and how it has the potential of being both a destroyer and a creator. It focuses on violent aspect of wind that causes destruction. He sees wind as a symbol of adversities in life. The poet inspires us to face the challenges and hardships with courage and firm determination. Let's begin the poem now. Wind, come softly, don't break the shutters of the windows, don't scatter the papers, don't throw down the books on the shelf. The poet is talking to the wind and he's asking the wind to come softly without causing any kind of destruction. He's saying that come softly, don't cause any damage to anything. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. He is asking wind to look at the things which it has destroyed. He is asking the wind to see the destruction it has caused. You're very clever at poking fun at weaklings. The poet is saying that wind makes fun of weak things only. It destroys only the weak things. It takes advantage of their helplessness and destroys their houses. Frail crumbling houses. Frail means weak. Crumbling means breaking or falling apart into small fragments. Crumbling doors, crumbling rafters. Rafter is a wooden beam supporting a roof. Crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. So the poet says that wind blows violently and destroys everything that is weak. Like I said, wind is a symbol of hardships and adversities in life. So when problems come, they also cause maximum harm to those who are weak. The ones who are strong, they are not much affected by the problems because they face them with courage. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. So everyone who is weak, everything which is weak, wind god crushes them and it separates them from the ones who are strong. Winnow means to blow. Winnowing is a process in which, see, as you can see in the picture, women are winnowing the grains. So when wind blows, the husk particles, they get separated from the grain particles. Similarly, when wind blows violently, strong people or strong things are separated from the weak ones, and weak things are crushed by the wind. He won't do what you tell him. Wind will not listen to you, it will follow itself. Just like the problems and hardships, when problems come, when adversities come, do they take our permission before coming? No. Can we do anything about it to control them? No. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly. Practice to firm the body, make the heart steadfast. Steadfast means strong, firm. So the poet is saying we cannot control the wind, we cannot control the problems and hardships, but yes, we can change ourselves. We can make ourselves strong so that it isn't able to cause any harm to us. Do this and wind will be friends with us. So if we are strong, if we can withstand the problems with courage, then they cannot affect us. In fact, they will be friends with us. The wind blows out weak fires, he makes strong fires roar and flourish. Wind blows out weak fires, means it destroys the weak ones, and the strong people who face it with determination, they come out stronger from such situation, right? If we have some problem and we face it with our whole might, then obviously we come out from it stronger, right? Stronger than before. His friendship is good, we praise him every day. The poet wants to say that hardships and problems also have importance in life, because if we don't face any challenges, then we cannot get better. So that's all about it. The poem is very simple. Let's talk about poetic devices now. First one is rhyme scheme. The entire poem is written in free verse. There is no rhyme scheme. Next is symbolism. Wind is a symbol for challenges in life. So this poetic device is called symbolism. Next is anaphora. See lines second, third, and fourth. All these three lines are starting with the same word don't, right? So when two or more than two lines, consecutive lines, start with the same word, that poetic device is called anaphora. In last two lines also you can see both the lines start with the same word you. So this is also called anaphora. Next is personification. Obviously, poet is talking to the wind as if it is listening to him, as if it's a person. So this device is called personification. See, you tore the pages of the books, you brought the rain again, as if it's listening to him. He's referring to the wind as a person. Next is repetition, very simple when a word is repeated in close connection. Frail, crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. So crumbling has been repeated. So it is repetition. Then we have alliteration. The wind god winnows. Verse sound is repeated in close connection. So alliteration when there is a repetition of consonant sound. It is called alliteration. Ver sound is a consonant sound, so it is called alliteration. He won't do what you tell him. Ver. Again, ver sound is repeated, so it is also another example of alliteration. That's all about it. I think you have understood. If you like the video, then please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you.